Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. Here, actually, we are continuing with the current affairs session of October 2021. We are going to see what were the recent developments that have happened. India Taliban to meet at Moscow format meeting. That was one of the important developments that has happened. Before going into the details, let's see the background of the event. Actually, there was a Moscow format which was set up in the year 2007. This was happened as a six-party mechanism. This involved Russia, India, Afghanistan, Iran, China, and Pakistan. These were the six countries which were involved in the Moscow format set or Moscow format. The format was later expanded to include some more countries. Its meetings were held in Moscow in the year 2017 as well as 2018. Coming to the recent Moscow format meeting, the India and Taliban meeting is actually expected to focus on the formation of an exclusive government or inclusive government and security situation in the case of Afghanistan. We know that there were many problems that were happened in Afghanistan. So the meeting is actually, it is expected that it will be participated by India, Afghanistan, Iran, USA, Pakistan, China, as well as certain Central Asian countries or Central. Okay, and the participants they will expect to discuss certain issues on consolidating the efforts of international community in order to prevent humanitarian crisis, especially in Afghanistan, the common people, the public are considered to be the main sufferers of the problem, and they are suffering a lot as a result of the new political changes that were happening in Afghanistan. And with respect to this meeting, this is considered to be the first edition of the Moscow format, which is specifically related to Afghanistan, a Taliban issue. And this happened, this is first meeting after the Taliban has acquired power in Afghanistan. Though India holds its first meeting with Taliban on August 31, 2021 in Doha, this is actually the first kind of meeting with respect to the kind of political situation in Afghanistan. Okay, and the group of different countries coming together with in a scenario or in the platform of the Moscow format meeting. What would be the discussions specifically on Afghanistan? This meeting would enable the first formal contact between India as well as Taliban. And from the side of India, the meeting would be led by the Joint Secretary JP Singh, and the Russia side would be held by their representative. Or like that, each of the countries would be having a representative who would be coming for the meeting. And the discussions in the meeting would also focus on the problems with respect to the prevailing scenario of political kind in the case of Afghanistan, humanitarian issues, human rights issues, etc. Then terror threats, etc. And also they will be discussing certain aspects on drug trafficking. This is considered to be some of the priority areas for many countries, especially for Russia. So with that, we move on to Africa's glaciers to disappear soon. This is considered to be a report, and the report was actually released by the United Nations Climatic Conference, which was scheduled for October 31, 2021. The meeting has not yet happened, but there was a report which was released ahead of the meeting, and it is expected that the meeting would be it would be happening in Scotland. And as per the report which was released, 1.3 billion of people of Africa, they remain extremely vulnerable as the African continent warms more at a faster rate than the global average. We could see that the report notes that shrinking glaciers of Mount Kenya, Mount Kilimanjaro, etc. And these are the symbols of rapid and widespread changes which are yet to come. They are expecting some drastic events to happen, some problematic events to happen in the future as a result of this melting of glaciers. The present retreats rates of these glaciers are actually very much higher than the global average, and if this continues to happen, it is expected that there will be a total deglaciation in by 2040. Okay, if this kind of glaciation happens, that will be very much dangerous for the whole community. It is expected that by 2030, around 180 million extremely poor people would be there, and they would be living with less than $1.90 a day, and they would be exposed to floods, drought, extreme heat, etc. in Africa. So, along with their poverty kind of situation, if these kinds of natural hazards are coming to them, then that will be very much that will make things very much complicated. What all would be the economic effects of climate change? The estimates of economic effects of climate change actually vary in the African continent. In the sub-Saharan Africa, if you look, you can see that the climate change will decrease the gross domestic product by 3%, and this is expected to happen by 2050. The cost of adapting to climate change in Africa will increase to $15 billion per year by 2050. This is what is expected. There was a famine in Madagascar. This kind of famine, actually, we can see that the United Nations has warned with respect to this kind of famine. After the happening of this famine, they have studied the situations there, and we could see that these kinds of famine in some areas, floods in some other areas, melting of glaciers in some other areas, all these are happening as a result of uh, um, our own actions, humans actions. So it is very much important to deal with all these problems, and we have to make sure that these problems are not happening again. But anyway, what we have done is so much to the nature, so we cannot now, we have reached a situation that even humans cannot handle these kinds of natural hazards. Now the only the only solution or the only option ready is that uh, we have these humans have to suffer their their fruits of actions. I mean, fruits of actions in the sense they have done a lot of harm to the environment. So now it is time to suffer the uh, revenge of the nature. Now, G20 Extraordinary Leaders Summit on Afghanistan, another important event. Before going on to this particular summit, let's understand the group of 20, the G20 nation. It is a group of intergovernmental forum, consists of 19 countries as well as the European Union. So this 19 plus European Union makes a group of 20, and this group actually addresses the major issues related to global economy, which include international financial stability, sustainable development, climate change, etc. And this grouping was founded in 1999, especially in the backdrop of several economic crises that the world was facing. Since 2008, the group meets at least once in a year, and the G20 summit involved the head of government of state, finance minister, foreign minister, and also it would include some other high-ranking officials. European Union is represented by European Commission and European Central Bank. Now, coming to this particular summit, it is this summit would be organized to discuss the situation in Afghanistan. As we have already discussed case of Afghanistan, many of the summits that which are coming up consider the issue in Afghanistan as one of the important topic there, and it is considered that it will be convened by the G20 Italian presidency in a virtual mode. The agenda of the meeting would be humanitarian needs as well as the basic services, livelihood, etc. in the Afghanistan, and also discussions would be there on terrorism, security, human rights, etc. Prime Minister Modi had participated in SCO, CSTO outreach summit on Afghanistan, and on the occasion he had highlighted the challenges with respect to the peace, security situation, etc. in the region. And coming to the role of G20 with respect to Afghanistan, we could see that this platform would be helping to build an international consensus, as well as this would help to facilitate a coordinated approach between the multilateral organizations and its agencies. And this will help each and every country to have a peaceful life. It facilitates a coordination among the global as well as regional actors in order to address the worsening humanitarian crisis in the Afghanistan region. Next, Telangana to test mobile-based e-voting system. Uh, this kind of system, the development is a development which is guided by the necessity of holding polls in India amid the COVID pandemic. And if this system becomes successful, this will facilitate to vote using smartphones from home. The dry run will be held in the Telangana on October 20. This is what we are actually looking at. And it will be India's first smartphone-based e-voting process. For registration, voters can register themselves by using their smartphone application between 8 and 18 of October. And the State Election Commission of Telangana is actually implementing the system in association with the emerging technologies of Wing IT, Electronics and Communications Department of Telangana government. And there would be a technical development support by the Center for Development of Advanced Computing. In the case of artificial intelligence, it would be using artificial intelligence for three-factor authentication for the valid voter. System will match the voter's name with the one given in the Aadhaar. It will dictate whether the person is still living or not. It would match the image using EPIC database comprising of around 20-year-old records. Then with respect to blockchain technology, we can say that this is something used to secure the de-identified and encrypted voters or encrypted votes in order to maintain them as immutable records. And the smartphone application, TSEC e-vote app, would be helping the voters to vote by being at home. And this follows a minimalist design approach supporting both English as well as Telugu languages, which would be comprised of a detailed help section for tutorial videos, and a helpline number would also be there. This would help to aid the citizens. It is considered to be a security hardened mobile application which would prevent any type of tampering. The system cannot be misused because it binds a device ID and also phone number to a specific citizen registration process. Only that device could be used for voting. With that, we move on to another important event, Prime Minister Gati Shakti Master Plan. So this was announced by Modi on Independence Day of 2021. The master plan will bring about 16 ministers and 7 crore infrastructure sectors on a single platform in order to synergize the project planning across stakeholder ministers for avoiding duplication, gaps, etc. This platform is actually launched to provide information instantaneously. It will allow a better coordination among all the ministers, and the scheme was launched with an aim of achieving 3 basic goals, like seamless multi-modal connectivity for facilitating easy movement of goods as well as people, improved prioritization, optimal usage of resources, timely creation of capacity, and resolution of issues like standardization related issues, clearance related issues, etc. Now, the main aim of the plan is to provide a framework for the National Infrastructure Pipeline Program. The plan also aims to make Indian products more competitive by cutting down their logistic costs, improving their supply chains, and also it will help in giving a foundation for the holistic infrastructure and integrated pathway for economy. it will actually help the local manufacturers of India to become globally competitive. Apart from that, the scheme is actually it creates a lot of employment opportunities, especially for the youth. It seeks to attract investment from worldwide to improve the infrastructure in India, and it provides a new direction and fresh momentum for overall infrastructure development in India. It is considered to be a seamless multi-modal connectivity platform which would ensure the movement of people, goods, and would enhance the ease of living and also ease of doing business. This is expected with Prime Minister Gati Shakti Master Plan. Now, coming to another event, Prime Minister to launch India Space Association, and it is considered to be a premier industry association of space and satellite. This India Space Association is represented by leading homegrown and grown global corporations having advanced capabilities with respect to space and satellite technology. The founding members would be the Tata Group, Bharati Airtel, etc. The core members would be Godrej, then Zendem Electronics, Maxar India, etc. What is the function of this Indian Space Association is that in line with the Prime Minister vision of Atma Nirbhar Bharat, this aspires to become a collective voice of the Indian space industry. It will undertake policy advocacy as well as it would engage in the stakeholders in the space sector. It would engage with the government, its agencies, so as to make India self-reliant, technologically advanced, and to make India a leading player in the space sector. It plays a very important role. Now, actually, this Indian space industry is driven by Indian Space Research Organization, and the space industry would comprise of more than 500 private suppliers of and also from various bodies. There are comparatively low independent private agencies, and we can see that the private sector has been gaining an increased role with respect to this Indian Space Association. Next is RBI monetary policy announcement. The Reserve Bank of India has gone for its policy targets. So here the repo rate was kept earlier at 3.35%. The margin standing facility would remain unchanged at 4.25%. With respect to policy rate revision, you will see that the central bank had revised its policy rate on May 22nd, 2020. Now we can see that with respect to the status of economic activities, India is a much better place as compared to the last MPC meeting, and now the growth impulses are strengthening. Inflation trajectory is also favorable rather than expected. For the financial year 21-22, the CPI inflation is projected by 5.3%. In the case of food inflation, we could predict it is predicted to remain a muted status in the upcoming months. Now, coming to the High Ambition Coalition for Nature and People. This here the background is that India's goal to join the High Ambition Coalition for Nature and People. This was initiated in January 2001. It was initiated in Paris at the One Planet Summit. Here, the ambassador of France to India, he said that on joining the High Ambition Coalition will be this would act as a real game changer because it would boost multilateral efforts such as India's role would also be enhanced. The aim was for promoting an international agreement in order to protect at least 30% of the world's land as well as ocean by 2030. And India's announcement was done in the backdrop of lead up to a high level diversity meeting which would be hosted by China. And India joined this coalition at a ceremony between French and Indian government in New Delhi. And we can see that the members presently comprise of a mix of countries in the global north as well as south. There will be Asia, Africa, Europe, Latin America, so there will be countries from all these sides in the High Ambition Coalition for Nature and People meet. PLI scheme for telecom products launch. Next important event. Um, Here, this was launched for realizing the Prime Minister's vision for Atmanirbhar Bharat to help in reducing dependence of India on other nations for importing telecom as well as networking products. The scheme, PLI scheme in the telecom sector, this has actually been launched by the objective of boosting the domestic manufacturing of telecom and networking products, and the scheme is effective from April 1, 2021. Investment by successful applicants in India in between April 1, 2021 to fiscal year 24-25 would be eligible under. Eligibility is actually subject to qualifying incremental annual thresholds, and support under the scheme would be provided for a period of 5 years. According to this scheme, they have given certain eligibility criteria. Here, some of the eligible MSME companies are actually the scheme. Here, they have given guidelines of about 31 companies comprising of 16 MSMEs and 15 other companies have been found to be eligible to be a part of this PLI scheme. There have been 31 applicants. There were 31 applicants, and these applicants are actually expected to invest a huge sum of money for this particular aspect. Exercise Youth Abhyas 2021, another event. The background is that the 16th edition of exercise took place in February 2021, and now the year 2021 will mark the 17th edition of Youth Abhyas. And it will commence from October 15 to 29. The significance was it is considered to be a step towards growing military cooperation between both the countries. I mean, both the countries in the sense that there would be if there are two countries, it will it will happen to be a kind of military cooperation rather than going for a war. It's carried out with an aim of enhancing understanding, cooperation, etc. The major defense partners with respect to this, we can see that United States had designated India as a major defense partner, and LEMO allows the militaries from both the countries. LEMO stands for Logistic Exchange Memorandum of Agreement. It allows the militaries from both the countries to use each other's bases for repair and replacement of supplies and to provide deeper cooperation. So here two countries means India and USA. So they have signed the BECA, that is Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement, in October 2020 in order to further boost the bilateral defense ties. And this provides for sharing high-end military technology, logistics, and geospatial maps with both the countries. India to pilot 1000 megawatt battery energy storage system. This is considered to be a pilot project, and this is a project of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and Ministry of Power. Both these ministries have been working on this aspect in order to provide a roadmap for installation of energy storage system in India. This is very much important, especially when we are facing a huge energy shortage. Solar Energy Corporation of India is actually a part here. The battery energy storage system would be set in a bid to support the ambitious goal of achieving 450 gigawatt renewable energy target. This Solar Energy Corporation of India, it would be working under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, call for expression of interest to procure 1000 megawatt here, and on the basis of the suggestions and feedback from various stakeholders, it is expected that we have to face an important event in November 2021 with respect to this particular event which has already happened. And as per the ministry, India has planned to use energy storage system under renewable energy. An energy storage system would be used as a grid element in order to maximize the use of transmission system. And this will help to strengthen the stability here. So that's all for today. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and you can be a part of my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts. That's all. Thank you. I'll be providing the links of the Telegram group and Telegram channel in the description box. You can use it.